Welcome to the next part of this exercise. So let's finally observe the steps by which we may obtain the overview drawings of our model. Now, and as we mentioned earlier, due to the variety of tools that Advanced Steel offers, there's more than one path that we can take for achieving a particular task. This is especially true when it comes to the creation of detail drawings, since, and as we have observed during the last few videos, we have at least 3 tool palettes that provide us with tools for this purpose.
Furthermore, as we explain in more detail in our advanced level course, the Drawing Style Manager also allows us to generate the detailed drawings of the model using our customized drawing templates.
Then, and regarding the overview drawings of our model, there are basically 2 paths that we can take. The first involves using the tools available through the Drawing Styles palette. As you can observe, through this first group of categories, we find multiple options for the generation of what we may consider overview drawings. Nevertheless, none of these options allows us to obtain multiple views simultaneously and place them in one single drawing. Of course, and as we have observed, it's possible to request that each new view gets placed in an already existing drawing. But we would still need to generate each view separately. Furthermore, and since these options, for the most part, use the current UCS to determine the direction of the view, we would also have to move around the model, or more specifically, manipulate the UCS. So, and to avoid these extra steps, we may resort, as our second approach, to the Drawing Processes palette. At a glance, this palette seems not to provide many options for the generation of overview drawings, but through the first category, we find multiple options for the use of cameras as a way to generate views. As the name suggests, cameras are elements that will allow us to obtain different points of view around our model without us having to manipulate the coordinate system. Moreover, cameras can be configured to generate a specific type of view or for using a specific template. Then, and in conjunction with the Drawing Processes palette, these cameras can be utilized for requesting the simultaneous generation of multiple views around our model, along with their automatic arrangement in a single drawing. So, and if we are to use this particular method, the first step, of course, would be to place the cameras that we need around the model. For this purpose, let's begin by bringing up the Advanced Steel tool palette. Here we have then the corresponding cameras. Now, and as we said earlier, by default, these cameras feature a detail box which limits their visual range around the connection. Then, as the next step before using these cameras to generate views of the model, we should open their Advanced Properties dialog and disable the detail box. Let's begin, for example, with the camera corresponding to the top view. So, and with this process now concluded, let's go to the Document Manager and take a look at the results. Here we have then the overview drawing of our model. So, and from this point forward, we can begin adjusting the views according to our needs. And of course, begin to add all the corresponding labels and dimensions. Also, worth remembering that since we are working in AutoCAD environment, you can feel free of using standard tools for the placement of texts, descriptions, and even for modifying the appearance of the title block. To this last point, and if you wish to modify the sheet template, or just create a new one, you may then resort to the Edit Prototypes tool. Nevertheless, and as we have seen in previous videos, it's only through the options available in the Drawing Styles palette that we'll be able of changing the base sheet template for the drawing.